Okay, let's get one thing straight. This isn't a sales pitch. We're not here to sell you a condo. We're here to deconstruct a corporate strategy. Today, we're going to crack open the blueprint of WHT Real Estate, a company that has a seriously bold mission to fundamentally change how people live in Europe. So, let's see how they plan to pull it off.
So, picture this. What if your home wasn't just, a static collection of rooms? What if it was a responsive environment that actually adapts to your lifestyle? A space that manages your energy, looks after your well-being, and even anticipates what you need. Well, that's the future WHT Real Estate is trying to build, and it all starts with a vision that goes way beyond just impressive buildings.
You see, behind these sleek glass facades, there's a really ambitious idea brewing. It's all about merging futuristic technology, sophisticated European design, and a very, very deliberate investment strategy. Let's start peeling back the layers. WH's entire strategy pretty much boils down to these two core pillars. On one hand, you've got smart living innovation. That's their promise of these technologically advanced, beautifully designed homes. But, a great product is nothing without the right market. And that's the second pillar, strategic market positioning. This is the business engine. They're not just building anywhere, they're specifically targeting high-growth markets, like Romania and Turkey, to get in on the ground floor and just maximize that opportunity.
Okay, that all sounds great. But how do they actually do it? This brings us to their blueprint for building, which, as you'll see, is about a lot more than just traditional bricks and mortar.
This slide just captures the whole shift perfectly, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the old way, your standard urban construction. And on the right, you have WHT's vision, buildings that are sustainable, tech-forward, and designed to integrate with the environment, not just sit on top of it.
Their process starts long before the first shovel ever hits the ground. It's all about data. They're analyzing these high-growth economic corridors, they're identifying zones with the best infrastructure, and they're making sure their sites are close to everything that makes the location valuable. Business hubs, schools, cafes, all that good stuff. Every single site goes through some seriously rigorous due diligence to squeeze out the most potential return.
Now, you're going to see some corporate terms like this one, modular synergy advantage. So let's translate that, shall we? It basically just means they have an exclusive partnership with their own construction company, WHT Construction. They use prefabrication, which is building components in a factory, and that gives them three huge advantages: way tighter quality control, predictable costs, and much, much faster construction timeline.
And sustainability isn't just some buzzword for them. It's literally woven right into their engineering with this four-part framework. It starts with structural excellence, going above and beyond European codes for safety. Next up is MEP integration, that's mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, all designed for peak energy efficiency. Then they embed green principles, using sustainable materials and aiming for top-tier certifications like BREEAM and LEED. And finally, quality assurance wraps it all up, monitoring the entire process.
Of course, a vision this big requires a seriously powerful investment engine to make it all happen. So let's take a look at the financial architecture that's holding up all of these projects.
To give you a real sense of scale, just look at this number. That's over 150 million euros in their development pipeline for Romania alone through 2027. This is not some small-scale experiment. We're talking about a major, long-term investment play. And they make it accessible, so we go from that huge number right down to the individual buyer. They offer these really flexible payment plans. You can start with a down payment as low as 15%, and then your other payments are tied to actual construction milestones. So you're paying as the building goes up, and the whole thing is backed by an insurance completion guarantee. And for international investors, there are two particularly juicy hooks. First, freehold ownership, which means you get complete control over your asset, no question. And second, they've set up pathways where your real estate investment can actually be linked to gaining European residency.
Okay, let's get to the really futuristic part, the cool stuff. We've seen how they build and how they finance it. Now let's step inside and actually look at the technology that makes these houses smart.
I mean, we hear the term smart home thrown around all the time, right? But what does it actually mean in one of these WHT properties? What does this whole smart living thing really look like day to day?
So the core of their smart home is its central nervous system. This isn't about juggling a dozen different apps on your phone. It's a single, unified home harmony system, one intuitive interface that acts as the command center for your entire living space.
And what does it control? Pretty much everything. We're talking intelligent lighting that adapts to the time of day, climate management that learns your preferences, and multi-layered security. But it goes even deeper. It's optimizing your energy use, monitoring the air quality, and even running predictive maintenance checks to catch little problems before they become big ones. But, ultimately, all of that complicated technology is designed to produce a very, very simple outcome: effortless comfort. The goal isn't the tech for its own sake, but the feeling of wellness and tranquility it creates, letting the home's environment just kind of fade into the background. So now that we've seen inside the home, let's zoom back out and look at the company's international scale, because this isn't just happening in one city, this is a full-blown, continent-wide strategy. This map gives us the perfect visual. Their strategy starts in what they call their foundation market, which is Romania, where they've really established their model. From there, they expand to Turkey, which they see as a strategic gateway between Europe and Asia. And the next phase? Pushing into the big, established markets of Central and Western Europe.
And this table here breaks it down even more clearly. You've got Romania as the foundation with that massive 150 million plus euro pipeline. Then Turkey is that strategic gateway with projects focused right in Istanbul's financial hub. And the next phase is already in motion. With planned entries into markets like Germany and Poland, it's a really clear, methodical approach to growth.
So all of this brings us to their ultimate philosophy, where all these different pieces, the design, the finance, the tech, the global reach, they all come together. They call it the Lifehouse concept. This is the feeling they're trying to bottle. It's all about creating a deeply human-centric experience within these highly advanced spaces. The big idea is a home that isn't just a place to live, but a genuine partner in your life.
So, to put it all together, the Lifehouse is the synthesis of everything we've just talked about. It's that point where architecture and technology stop being separate things, and they fully merge, creating a living space that adapts to you, anticipates your needs, and evolves as your life changes.
And this really brings us to the final big question. What is betting on a future where we demand a lot more from our homes than just shelter? Their whole strategy kind of forces us to ask, if our homes can see and listen and learn, what should we be asking them to do for us next? And maybe more importantly, where do we draw the line?